evening to everybody world over, wherever you are in the different time zones, in the different countries, all our brothers and sisters, great morning, great afternoon, and great evening to everyone. We extend a very hearty welcome for yet another very powerful evening. This evening, where we are going to take you in the journey, the relevance of Buddha's teachings in today's education system. We have got distinguished guests from the different countries. They have come from Thailand, they have come from United Kingdom, they have come from Indonesia, and of course, the entire program is under the dynamic and dedicated leadership of Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji, who is the Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation, and with the moderation, with the support, and the complete strength come from Dr. Christie Chang from Taiwan. All of them, those are joining us this evening, we extend them very hearty welcome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, we extend you a very warm welcome. Since 1994, we are trying to gather all the non-resident Indians world over, wherever they are, and that gave the birth to Bharatiya Parvasi Divas also. So I just wish to share with you that 30 million non-resident Indians are at present abroad. During this lockdown, the thought processes are affected, business is affected, physical and mental health is affected, and main part of the universe, education is deeply, deeply affected. And at the same time, Monday to Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. Yes, you heard rightly. It's not Monday to Friday that you enjoy Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday should be more productive. It should be more creative, more dynamic as compared to Monday to Friday. So Saturday, Sunday also is being included. Monday to Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. we come making education relevant world over, because there is a lot of technical difficulties at this point of time. Everybody is not having the same bandwidth. Everybody doesn't have seamless connectivity. Some of the children do not have the gadgets. And it's very disheartening to know that almost 11 million girls have decided to drop out from schools and institutions after this pandemic, whenever it gets over. Now, Monday to Sunday, when we talk about, this is something I just thought we should share with all of you. What exactly is this global webinar series? So Monday to Thursday, we have got a YES program, youth empowerment strategies. What does today's youth want? What are they looking forward to? We got to listen to their voice. Their echo is more important than anything else, because what is the purpose of education? Is it economic? Is it social? Is it cultural? Is it personal? And particularly these millennials, those are born with the gadgets, they are so creative and dynamic. We got to listen to today's youth. And every Friday evening, 7 to 8 p.m., there's a relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. Saturday evening, 5:30 to 6:30, you've got Swami Vivekananda's teaching for education and youth empowerment. Saturday evening, you have got Ayurveda for the global wellness. When you talk about yoga, meditation, naturopathy, organic nutrition, how to think positive all the times. And then Sunday, early morning, we start with Srimad Bhagavad Gita and 10 principal Upanishads from United States. Professor Satyendra Diman, he comes alive. And then Sunday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. Indian, all these are Indian standard times I'm talking about. We have got 5 to 6 p.m. India-ASEAN joint partnership, where we talk about the free trade agreement and what are the cultural, historical, heritage, social, others. And of course, there are Buddhist and Buddhism linkages also between India and ASEAN. That series is on 5 to 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time every Sunday evening. And then Sunday last program is when we talk about during this pandemic, a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people, business have suffered very badly. So we try and do the hand holding of everybody that micro, small and medium enterprise, should you wish to be a startup, should you wish to be an entrepreneur, should you wish to seek any kind of a guidance, any inputs, anything you require in any country, we just come out with a small basket of solutions. What all we can do for the micro, small and medium enterprise, that is 7 to 8 p.m. on Sunday evening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our chamber from morning 9 till evening 9 o'clock every day 12 hours wherever you are. Nowadays, a lot of people in Mongolia, Central Asia, South Asia, a couple of other places. We are trying to take everybody together. We are school, colleges, polytechnic, institution, engineering, management, and a couple of other programs. Whatsoever they need a kind of a support from our side, whether the youth or the educators or the counselors, we are trying to reach everybody. We are grateful to Almighty because on the Buddha Purnima celebration day on 21st May 2016, our chamber deeply got closer to the Buddhism and to the Buddha's philosophy, Buddha's teaching. What exactly is Buddha's convey? He conveyed, and nowadays the series what we are carrying, what is Buddha's teaching relevance in our education system? So on 21st of May, there was a conference of 8,000 people together from different countries from world over, and that was Buddhist heritage and pilgrimage journey, which was taken up. And thereafter, Living Buddhist Leadership, our immediate former president of ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, who is based in United States, he got in touch with Dhammapiyaji, and together we started a new journey, a very, very innovative and a very creative and a very vibrant journey together. And that was on 21st of June on the Yoga Day, where our former president and Dhammapiyaji, they came together and they discussed, they deliberated a lot of things. So ladies and gentlemen, right over here is the Buddhist monastery of Tawang, where the festival is being shown. And then the new journey started under the dynamic leadership of Dhammapiyaji. And we started initially a program, and that was every Saturday morning. We were getting the confluence of Buddhist leadership from world over, how to help in education system, what exactly can be done. All these events have already taken place. And thereafter, there was a popular demand from world over that could you be kind enough to shift this program to Friday evening instead of Saturday early morning, because lots of people, those are interested to join, basically from Europe and a couple of other countries, they were not in a position to join us. So we said, okay, because we got to see who are the people, those are going to be benefited and how it is to be taken. So that's why we took this journey on basically Friday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. And whenever I meet Dhammapiyaji, I'm so grateful to him for his wonderful thought process, which he keeps giving from time to time. And during this pandemic, when I've gone to Nalanda University's literature, and I was just trying to find out what was Takshila, what was Nalanda, what was Vikramshila, and what all universities were there, and what these monks were doing, and how the 10,000 students from world over in the global international residential university with 2,000 acharyas, and how the Pali and the Sanskrit and a couple of other things over here, what exactly was happening over here. So ladies and gentlemen, from here the journey started in a couple of things, and now the dream project is this international university has to come up with the valuable support of everybody. This is a dream project, and our chamber, and particularly I'm so privileged that our immediate past president devoted and dedicated 8 years to get his second PhD on Buddhism. And when he dedicated 8 years, he is a very fine balance who understands very well. And he says what he learned from Buddha's philosophy and Buddha's teachings. So it is so relevant. So all of us together, all the ICSI presidents world over, advisors world over, all the stakeholders world over, all the CSR activity people world over, we have made a request to them that this is the dream project. We got to bring it alive. And this is what which has to come up in future, and which has to be taking lots of people from world over. Those are interested to get solace, meditation, calmness, peace. They're looking forward to harmony and how to live peacefully, all of us together. And from our chamber, also we are imparting, this is a digital way, 30 students at present, boys and girls, they are undergoing Buddhist Pilgrimage Facilitation Executive Program. And I wish to share with all of you, soon they will be completing this training program. And this is basically starting first Buddhist Pilgrimage Facilitation Executive Program, what you call travel agents, tour operator, tourist transporter, facilitators for your pilgrimage yatra. In that, when we take into consideration, these boys and girls are from Buddhism background. A lot of our Buddhism families, those have got grown-up children. So we just thought of it. We got to generate some employment for them, self-employment for them, and they becoming startup. And you would be so happy to know that 4 boys and girls out of this, they are starting their startup venture also. I'm grateful to them. They are visionary. So we offer our services. Any person in any country, anywhere, if you wish to develop some of your younger generation, those are from the Buddhist families, and those want to facilitate Buddhist pilgrimage, we would be more than happy to share with you all the expertise what we have got. Tomorrow evening at 5:30, Vivekanandaji's program what we have got. Tomorrow evening we have got Ayurveda for global wellness what we have got. So ladies and gentlemen, we strongly believe whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So we all should come together, and particularly this humble journey what we have started. If there are more than 500 million plus people who believe in Buddhism, Buddha's teachings, Buddha's philosophy, and there are so many universities, so many colleges, so many institutions. Come on, wherever you are, let's come together. We all are brothers and sisters of the same God and the goddesses, whatsoever we have got. Let's bring peace in the world. Let's bring harmony in the world. Let's all of us be together wherever we are. And from Buddha's teaching, I want to be the most humble student to learn from all of you. And I want to be the best student to learn from all of you. And with total dedication, we are bringing this program. I wish more and more people should join this particular program every Friday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. I also requested Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji and Dr. Christie. We should start getting younger generation also. We should start getting some boys and girls. Those are studying in colleges, institutions. Those are into the last class of their school education. They should also be brought over here, and they should talk about what exactly Lord Buddha's philosophy, because it is the younger generation. Those have to take the gorgeous torch and the baton now further, and they got to take it ahead, whatsoever we are trying to share. So ladies and gentlemen, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji doesn't need any introduction, to be very frank. As a Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation, he is the Sutradhar, he is the creator, and he is the assembler, he is the developer, and everything when I owe to him, this particular dedication of Friday evening. With him, I respect a lot to my little sister, Dr. Christie Chang, who is from Taiwan. She's a very, very dynamic lady. I've got a great respect for her. She is the joint president of International Buddhist Confederation. What we have got, she's a chair, International Planning Committee of the 17th Sakyadhita International Association of Buddhist Women. Professionally, Dr. Chang is a prolific, when I talk about linguistic, translator and educator, and there is a Council of International Educational Exchange. So I would request Dr. Christie to take on the floor. But before I get to all that, I wish to share, and there's a little secret also, and with the permission of Venerable Dhammapiyaji, I have taken a small shot of his also. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made a song in 2.5 minutes as a dedication to the whole universe during this COVID-19, during this pandemic, and we have developed 2.5 minute song that is Punaha, the Nalanda, and when I talk about Takshila, when I talk about Vikramshila, and that university which I talked about, the dream project what we talked about. Now I just wish to share with you before we will introduce our other distinguished guests, with the permission of everybody, I just play for 2 minutes this song.
विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर, शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर सबका ही कल्याण करो। भारत का सम्मान करो, भारत का सम्मान करो। आर्यभट्ट से उज्जवल शिक्षक पूर्ण जगत में छा जाओ। आर्यभट्ट से उज्जवल शिक्षक पूर्ण जगत में छा जाओ। श्रेष्ठ वर्ग के तारे बनकर अपना नाम भी चमकाओ। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर, शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर सबका ही कल्याण करो। शंखनाद से सकल जगत में गौरवमय गुणगान करो। गगन कल्पना एपीजे कलाम और भगत सिंह बन जाओ। साहस भर के झांसी जैसा जीवन का बलिदान करो। गगन कल्पना एपीजे कलाम और भगत सिंह बन जाओ। साहस भर के झांसी जैसा जीवन का बलिदान करो। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो।
So with these words, I extend a very hearty welcome to all of you, and we will introduce our distinguished guest in a little while. Before that, I would request Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji to have the prayer of the evening so that we start the program. And thereafter, I would request Dr. Christie, the moderator, and who can pronounce and announce properly all the dignitaries in a dignified and in a very, very respectable manner. I would request her to then take on the floor. With these words, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji.
A very good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone in different time zones who have been watching this webinar on the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. Let us all pay homage to the triple J, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Let us all take refuge in the triple J, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dudiyampi, tatiyampi, Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. May I now request Dr. Christie Chanji to take over the floor and conduct this webinar as moderator, please.
Thank you, Venerable. And thank you, Dr. Goshan Shamaji. Thank you for the music bonus. That was such a surprise. Beautiful Indian colors. I wish I understood Hindi, but you know, the music was really nice and the colors really nice. So, and because of that, that reminded me of a Sky concert. I would like to take this opportunity to share the information of that Sky concert, which is coming on September 26th. And this is going to be a concert, produced by Imi Wee, the world renowned Buddhist woman musician based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So please feel most welcome to join her. It's meant to be a Dharma concert, Dharma gathering, practicing together, wishing for the best of the world. And I have given the information in the chat room. So for those of you who are interested, please go and take the link. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our panelists, our very esteemed panelists today. Let me introduce them one by one. Our first panelist is Dr. Nitinant Wisaweisuan. The Thai names are always very long, and I usually just say sister Dr. Nitinant. So Dr. Nitinant is a professor of economics in Thammasat University in Thailand. She's an advisor to the Thai-Bharat Cultural Lodge. She's also a member of the board committee to the Institute of East Asian Studies and the Faculty of Architecture and Planning at Thammasat University. And she's also, part of the research board committee to Valaya Alongkorn Rajabhat University under the Royal Patronage. And Dr. Nitinant has been engaged extensively in international education. She has been a key partner to India, and she has worked closely with the Indian embassy as well as Indian communities in Thailand to support various events to strengthen India-Thailand partnership. So she's a very important person between India and Thailand. And she also made her annual visits to the four Buddhist pilgrimage sites, besides participation in Buddhist Conclave invited by the government of India. She's a devout follower of Buddhism through leadership and guidance of Most Venerable Arayawangso. Correct me if I'm not pronouncing correctly. So this is a venerable Thai highly revered Sangha. And so Dr. Nitinant has strong perseverance to learn and to practice the Buddhist teachings, as well as steadfast dedication to the promotion of Buddhism. She's a real practitioner. We actually had to pull her out of her meditation retreat last week to confirm today's speech. Okay, so let me also present our second panelist here. You see our beautiful sister Jenti Siswanto, who is the chairwoman of Triratna Buddhist School Foundation in Indonesia. So Yenti lives in Serpong, Indonesia, with her husband and her son. And this 2020, her son is turning 17. She looks so young and beautiful still, but her son is 17. And so she has 17 years of learning to be mindful parents experience. She actually just gave a TED talk on mindful parents. So through college and later while moving up the ladder at work, she struggled from the ups and downs of the roller coaster of emotions, but she survived, benefited a lot from meditation training and having positive mindset. So from there, Jenti learned to be happy and comfortable in her own skin. And she's also active in her communities to promote mindfulness in daily life. She dedicated her time as full-time volunteer at Triratna Buddhist School Foundation. The foundation, is in charge of a formal local school. They have classes from kindergarten to high school in West Jakarta, Indonesia. So welcome, Ms. Jenti. And our last but not least speaker, our brother here, captain, I should say, our captain, Kaji Sherpa. Our brother Kaji Sherpa is the founder of a Buddhist community center in United Kingdom. So Mr. Kaji was born into a Buddhist family in the region of East Nepal. He joined the British Army in 1980. That's why I call him the captain. Yeah? And he served over 23 years. Great contributions. In 2002, he became the first serving Gurkha officer to obtain British citizenship via naturalization, which is a great contribution. He is a leader in this. So Kaji successfully introduced Buddhist monks into the British Army. He then became the first ever Nepalese Gurkha to join the British Police Service. He's now a police officer and was presented with the Best Recruit Award. In 2007, he established the Buddhist Community Center UK with the vision of serving all Buddhists in the UK. In 2015, he received the Best Community Leader Award among the Nepalese communities leaders in the UK. He's currently an executive member of the International Buddhist Confederation, the SEM-IBC, with me and our venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji, which unites Buddhists from all over the world to contribute, to preserve, and to promote Buddhist heritage. So without further ado, I would like to call upon our first panelist, Dr. Nitinant, to give her speech, please.
Yes, thank you very much. And namaskar, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya. Good evening to all the joining panelists and also all attendees, participants around the world. First of all, allow me to give a big thanks to Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya and also Dr. Sharma, and yes, Sister Christie, Chang. We haven't met quite a long time. I'm very glad I meet you here even though this is a virtual meeting, and I'm glad that I meet Captain Kaji and also Miss Jenti. It's a great honor for me to join this session. As Sister Christie has kindly introduced me to the audience, that I have been engaged in several activities in the international education. Part of my work is actually on, of course, not just part, it's actually majority, the main work of mine is teaching. And I'm still teaching, even though I'm working in the administration, even though I was the executive to any organizations, the teaching is still my heart. And I find that during this time, the education is very challenging to all of us, particularly after during the COVID and the anticipation of what will happen after the COVID pandemic. So I will not have any slide, but allow me to share my thoughts here. First of all, I like to mention about the education that is now, as I mentioned, it's challenging. In my experience, I find that a number of students, of course, have to be learning, working at home. We are trying to do some of more of the on-site learning, but of course, it's quite difficult because we still need to keep social distancing. But at the same time, I think this is very timely for all of them to learn Buddha's teaching. Because all of these are suddenly affecting their life. And I think this is good time for us to educate them, to especially learn the basic law of nature, which was taught by Buddha. So the first lessons that they have during this time is about their life. They have to look back and see their own individual daily routines, and then assess what they will adjust and adapt themselves to the new situation, new environment. So that means they learn to change. And before they can learn to change, they have to admit that everything arises, stay, and of course, pass away. This is the basic rule of life, rule of nature. And this is a key teaching that Buddha had kindly gave to our mankind. So this phenomenon allow me especially to have a simpler, I think it's a more convenient time for me to talk to them about how they live their life. And then it is for me as well to say that, look, even though you can't travel, even though you can't meet people, you can still have, for example, loving kindness. You can still help people. You can still be compassionate. Everything actually comes from your own individual mind. Your own mind is the key, is the chief of everything. So while we are learning online, of course, sometimes you get bored, sometimes you get frustrated because you can't go out. But don't forget that this is a great time for you to get in touch with your parents, to get in touch with friends, even though on virtual meeting like this. So this is a good time for you to look at your mind, and particularly to help them on learning on the cultivation of mindfulness. I find that because Buddha teaching focuses on the development of ourselves, then I can gradually let them know that the benefits of developing ourselves is tremendous. From developing ourselves to have the right view from the very first step, then they will form the right attitudes. Once they have the right attitudes, of course, they can further go to the right values, right virtues, and that will become right actions. And of course, finally, it will become decent and noble behaviors, which will be very good, very perfect for all mankind. So I find that during the past 5 to 6 months, I could meet my students even more frequently, because even during nighttime, when they have some problems or some questions, they can just ring me on the chat on the line, and ask, Can I meet you on the Zoom, or can we have a Zoom meeting? Maybe just 10 or 15 minutes to consult for any particular issues. So this is the very, I think, a great benefit that we can have from the pandemic during this time. So in addition to that, then we try to nurture them and make them feel more confident that they can live on their own. Of course, they have a lot of stress, they have a lot of worries about the job after they graduate. The world has changed. Tourism industry is heavily affected. A number of them were looking forward to study abroad for master or PhD degrees. But it seems that this is not easy as the past time. So what can they do? They can seek for the knowledge from other sources. And then we can also take this opportunity to teach them about the law of karma. That's the Buddha's teaching. Whatever you do, everything you are doing now, you will get consequence. So trust in yourself, be confident in yourself. When you are doing good, you will get good things in return. That is the consequence. Obviously, sooner or later, you get all the good consequence. So that means you put your efforts now. You have your wish to be a person, like a good person. So you put your good efforts, your right efforts there. Keep doing that, being steadfast in that. Then you will finally get the rewards on that sooner or later. So I think this is a great opportunity for education to be reformed to a large extent. For example, we do more focusing on the courses like intercultural communication. The communication needs to be now for all. It becomes a must for all young generations, especially during the world of information that can be transmitted just within a click. You can read the message, you can get message from anyone around the world, and sometimes you are not sure of the reliable sources. So that means they really need mindfulness. They really need more contemplation in order to get information, and then whether they will trust in the information or make use of those information. So I find that this is the advantage of this time. So teaching them to be more mindful in getting the information, so that they can communicate in a right way to other people. That will be the kind of right methods of disseminating information to others. And I find that a number of them are getting fun in terms of perhaps they are speaking in front of the monitor like this. And, if in the class, imagine when students, especially Asian students, Thai students, they are pretty shy. If we ask them to stand in front of the class, they are very shy of speaking with others. But now when we have this kind of virtual, screens, sometimes they prepare a script and they speak, and they can practice. Yes, we can also listen to the message that they convey, and we can give comments on the communication, the message they give. So we have more time to evaluate, especially in terms of the contents that they have. So that means we have more chance to teach them another Buddha's teaching. That is called Yoniso Manasikara, which is the methods of contemplating the information, or try to be distinguished between fake news or good or right news. But in addition to that, above all, it is to help them to distinguish between the true values and the fake values of whatever they have. And they will be more mindful, they will be more thoughtful in examination of those information. So I think in terms of the education, we will be able to incorporate or embed Buddha's teaching at every single step. It's only a matter of how we design conversation or dialogue with students. It's not in the content of the subject. Of course, I'm teaching economics. I really cannot teach Buddha's teaching during the economic class, but the behaviors and the activities, all of these can be incorporated with Buddha's teaching. So this is what I have experienced by myself. And in addition to that, I like to just simply propose one idea or propose one principle for everyone to have equilibrium of life. We have to be, we are very grateful to the Lord Buddha for his kindness, loving kindness and compassion, giving to all mankind. He gave us for me, at least 3 qualities of Dhamma that I learned that I can practice by myself. First one is Brahma Vihara, which is the loving kindness, metta, karuna, mudita, and upekkha. That is a really strong foundation for everyone, every mankind. I think if we could teach young children to have Brahma Vihara from their very young age, and if this is embedded and nurtured when they get older and older, of course, you will never lose these qualities in one person. So that means you will have a good quality as a decent or a noble person. Of course, having loving kindness is to extend the good things for others, having compassion, feeling compassion with others, but at the same time, having mudita and upekkha. That means you are not overjoyed, you are not over sorrow, and you are neutral with your mind. That is for yourself, yes. The second Dhamma or Buddha's teaching that I like to propose that everyone should have so we can have equilibrium of life, it's called Ittipada, which is the 4 qualities for the accomplishment. We start from Chanta. That means we have a strong will for doing anything. Then we have Viriya, which is the efforts. You can't be accomplished unless you have steadfast, efforts to do that. You keep practicing. That is the Dhamma that gives you the path towards the success. The Chanta, Viriya, Citta, and Vimamsa allows you to have thoughtful examination, revision of what you have done. And of course, that will help you make improvement. And so I think this is very important for you to do any management, to do any work, even in the future after students graduate. This is a basic foundation for them to get success. And the last one that I like to propose, it's called Samanata, which is the quality for all of us to stay in the society, living with others, with peace, harmony, happiness. Because yes, starting from dana, giving, you have the dana, which means that you must have the loving kindness as the foundation. So when you give or you extend the dana to others, you will be very delightful. Then your mind, will be so like blossom. So that will help you to reach to others with the loving kindness as well. Dana piya vacha, you give, you speak the pleasant words. You do not telling a lie. You speak any beneficial words as well. The words of advice that will help you to stay or to live with others with compassion as well. The third one, that is the attacharya, which means that there is a beneficial conduct. You do whatever, you have behaviors that are beneficial to society. And of course, samanata. All of these, there are the behaviors of to give the equal treatment to others. So altogether, Brahma Vihara, Ittipada, and Sankhavatu, the the 3 main quality of the Dhamma. I call this as the Trinity, Dhamma Trinity. That is for the foundation for the equilibrium of life. And I do encourage to incorporate this Buddha's teaching to the lessons, to the activities, and to students' education. We may not teach them to just memorize the words, but this can be translated into activities for them to practice. And when they have the practice of these Dhamma qualities, of course, they will grow up and become decent, become noble person. And of course, I trust that they will finally do good things and extending the benefits to society. That will, of course, will give the harmony and happiness for society. All right. I think I'd like to share all these at this point. Thank you very much, Christie.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm sure you will all agree with me. Our Dr. Nitinant is such a wonderful educator, very skillful too. Thank you. And I'm sure you will agree with me. Her students are all very blessed to have her around. Thank you. And after listening to Dr. Nitinant from an educator's perspective, we will now move to our sister, our Miss Janti Siswanto, to speak from her point of view, as a parent, her personal experience practicing and using the Dharma in being a parent. So may we invite our Miss Janti Siswanto. You have to unmute first.
Good evening, Dr. Christie. Thank you for inviting me. A very respectful Venerable Dhammapiya. Good evening, Dr. Gulsan, Dr. Nitinant, and Mr. Kaji, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. I'd like to share screen now. I hope it's okay.
Perfectly fine. You just increase. Yes.
Yes. All right. My topic today is a teaching that relate to daily life. I'll touch a bit on happy parents at the end. I remember when my son was 14 years old, and he told me that he didn't want to go to the temple anymore. And then I asked him why. He said, because it's boring. I asked him, why makes you think that going to the temple is boring? He said, Mom, do you know, every week we go to the temple, we listen to Dhamma talk, and they all sing us the same message over and over. That was like, how come? Sometimes, because I was one of the activists at that temple, so I know some of the speakers. So I said, how come? They are all amazing speakers that we invited to share for the teenager class. He said, yes, they would, give us some theory on the Dharma. And then, but at the end, they always give us the same advice. All the same. Then I asked him, what kind of advice? He said, yeah, because they thought we are teenagers. So they always taught us to study hard, be a good student, be good to parents, be good to teachers, and that's it every week. Can you imagine? We sit there for 30 to 45 minutes, listen to the same thing every week. I'm not going anymore. So I was like, So what do you want? I asked him. He said, we want something that we can relate to our lives. Something that, we bring back, then we thought, oh, this is good. I'm going to do that. Then I asked him again, like what? He said, like some of the story we heard over the YouTube. A YouTuber taught us to let go. Oh, I said, whoa, YouTuber taught you to let go. That's very Buddhism, actually. So tonight, I'm going to share about a few things. like very classic concept like Four Noble Truths actually is really relevant to our daily life. If we change the suffering into problem, like like suffering is when we identify the problems. Like life always involves suffering, life always full of problems. Even things that seems good, sometimes we tend to worry a lot over every single thing. Like with this situation, we scared. We're like, oh, what if I got this? What if I got sick? Many things. So the cause of suffering is like the part where we diagnose the root of the problems. In modern days, it's more like to our egos. And once we got that, we find a strategy and we got the solution, that's the end of suffering. And the last noble truth is the path for mission accomplished. By practicing sila, the moral ethics, the mindfulness training, meditation, and developing wisdom, we can take exactly the same journey to enlightenment. So,
Sister, did you mean to move the to use
yes,
the, yes, there?
yeah.
Yes.
So that part it goes to mindfulness. Like mindfulness is the present moment, wonderful moment. I heard Dr. Nitinant also explain a bit about mindfulness here. So mine is more like stories. Oh, too fast. Okay. So life is only available in here and now. In the past, it's already gone, and the future is not yet coming. What do we do? There are many activities that we do every day, like we sit, we walk, we eat, we work, and sometimes we drive, and sometimes we talk, we listen. There are many things, but have we ever integrate that mindfully? Sometimes we don't. We tend to do a few things at once, like we eat and we watch TV. So sometimes what we watch is what we eat. We have food in front of us, but when we watch the drama, it gets emotional, then we stop eating. The taste is gone. So that happened a lot. So what we do, I'm involved in a school. It's a Buddhist school, but in fact, it's actually a formal school from kindergarten to high school. So we have about 650 students, and we conducted mindfulness retreat every year. And every day before the start of the class, we have about 5 minutes silent moment, silent sitting meditation. So later I will share some story from the students about how this training actually helping them. Okay, and this is the mindfulness retreat at our school for teachers and staff. What can mindfulness do for teachers? Actually, the mindfulness can reduce stress and burnout. Sometimes teachers, when they share, when they teach in front of the class, sometimes things get too emotional for them, like when the students didn't listen or when they are playing. So, oops, I'm too fast. Okay, so some of our teachers actually told us, by learning a simple breathing in and breathing out actually helps them when things get tough in the class. So it also help them manage the classroom easier, and is enable them to develop a positive relationship with their students. So we have these activities every year at our school, and although we are a Buddhist school, but not all of our teachers are Buddhists. So we, in our retreat, we cut down all the ritual, so we just go straight to mindfulness, because mindfulness training actually is very universal. It's not just Buddhist. Any religion can do that. And even though let's say some of them are really devoted to their other religion, but they are happy to learn meditation through our retreat. And some also told us that it actually helped their life. For students, we do it differently. You see in the photos that our students actually, doing the walking meditation. They clean the temple ground and they use the broom as the guitar. So it's a really fun retreat for them, actually. Some students even say that they never work in their life. So we also have walking meditation for them, sitting meditation, Dhamma sharing. And our teachers will be the one who assisting them, but the main person who conducted the retreat is the Venerable. For currently, Venerable Nyanabhadra is the one in charge of our mindfulness retreat, and he helped us a lot. He gets on very well with the students, and they just love him. So I have some testimony from our student. Yeah. Okay. One student said that he was really emotional, that he would respond to any desired circumstances with anger. So after attending a retreat, he learns to observe his negative emotion, and when anger arises, that he learns to be more patient. Another one said that he tended to misplace things, and when he needed them, he couldn't find them. So he became anxious and angry. And once he learned about mindfulness, instead of getting angry, he learns to go slowly and look for his stuff. So another student, this one, he's now in first year of university. He's study engineering. He said he was really rigid in his way of doing things. So whenever he had dispute with anyone, he tended to put the blame on other people, and he hate them. So now he tried to make peace and forgive, realizing that everything is temporary, is anicca. So the last testimony I got is from a girl. She said she used to be very sensitive and get irritated easily. That she thought that she was also always right. Everybody else is wrong. So after she learned about mindfulness, she became aware of her negative emotion and aware of the fire in her. And whenever things get tough, she said she'll focus on her breathing, and she doesn't want to destroy anything around her with her egos. So mindfulness indeed help our students. Sometimes they are doing very well in terms of academics, but in terms of emotion, especially in our junior high school and senior high school students, sometimes it gets really tough in that years. Many things that they need to find out. They shift from children to be adult. That process is really tough. So mindfulness did a lot of wonder to them. Okay. Then a skill community is consist of teachers, students, and parents. I'm going to share a bit of parents. That's me. As Dr. Christie mentioned, I was in TEDx organized by school. So in the YouTube, I talk a bit about parenting, how tough it is to be a parent. Sometimes, we couldn't help with our anger. We tend to get emotional, and sometimes we just vent it out to our kids. So at the end of my talk, I share a story about how when my son was 3 years old and he broke my laptop, and I was doing something on my laptop, and I was very angry at that. And before I did anything to him, I stopped for a moment Then I looked into his eyes, then he was so scared at me. And then I realized one thing, that, laptop is just a thing, my son is more precious than my thing. So in that precious second, all the mindfulness training I received in the past that, suddenly came into me and make me to look deeply. What is more important in my life? My anger, my laptop, my son, my ego, my pride, or what? And I decided that, things is just things, what more important in our life is our children. So before I do anything with it, I stop and, focus on my breathing. And I share in the talk is like the rule of thumb to do it 3 times, breathing in, breathing out. And it will help to contain our anger. But training is really important. We can learn meditation sitting in, like from morning to evening. But when you just live in that meditation state, you don't go into real world, sometimes you can't handle your emotion. The hardest thing as parents is the emotion. You know why? Sometimes because as parents, we have so much power over our kids. They are young. When they are like 5 years old or they are 6 years old, they'll do stuff in the house, and they run around, they broke things, and it's easy to trigger our anger. So how do I do about that? I realize, as my son get older, actually my patience is getting better and better. But the rule of thumb, remember, is breathing in, breathing out. Do it 3 times before you react, before you do anything that you will regret. Okay, that's the sharing from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Yanti. Yanti, actually, it's supposed to be Yanti, yeah. But anyway, so thank you so much for the very genuine, very candid sharing. I was so touched by that TED Talk. So I would like to request you to please give that link in the chat room so people can also go and watch that. TED Talk you have done, parenting, mindful parenting. I think it's very, very important. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you. So after listening to an educator, a parent or a school administrator's point of view, now we have our brother, our our captain Kaji, who will be speaking. I think he's such an activist, community activist. So we do have 3 different perspectives today. So without further ado, may we have our brother Kaji Sherpa to talk to us.
Thank you, Sister Dr. Christie. And I would like to take this opportunity to say namaste and greetings and best wishes to all brothers and sisters who are listening to this show. And namaste and prasidale from UK. And good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. And may I also take this opportunity to thank you and congratulate to Dr. Gulshan Sharma, who have created this wonderful webinar platform where we can meet and share our experience and learn and wisdom from other people all over the world. So really, really thank you and congratulations for Dr. Gulshan Sharma. And I learned you are from Army as well. So yes, my salute to sir.
I was major in the Army.
My salute. Greetings.
And in fact, sir, I forgot in between, I have to thank Dr. Nitinant when I visited her university, and she gave a wonderful lunch and beautiful place and wonderful students over there. And UK, I'll share some another alliances with you.
Yes. Yes. So thank you. Okay. And also, may I also can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfectly fine.
Yes. May I also take this opportunity to thank and congratulate to General Secretary of International Buddhist Conclave, Dr. Dhammapia, who are actively taking part and organizing a virtual program and acting part of this sort of event to sharing his wisdom and blessing, sharing his blessing to all over the world. Thank you, Dr. Dhammapia. Very greetings from me. And I am struggling about my PowerPoint presentation, sharing my PowerPoint. I'll try. May this work, but it's still not working. So anyway, I'll talk through without my PowerPoint presentation. I will talk about, my talk is very random and my understanding of Buddhism and also my experience. And also I will talk about a little bit about the Buddhist Community Center UK. First of all, yes, Dr. Christie, my sister, introduced me early on. My background, I was born in Nepal, a very remote country, remote area, which is Nepal is particularly known by mainly three things. The one is the Mount Everest, and the second is the birthplace of Buddha, and third is the Gurkha soldier. So I'm very proud to say that I am associated all these three things because I was born as a Sherpa, just the southern valley of the Mount Everest. And from there, when I was 16 years old, I joined the British Army. And that's the British Army Gurkha. And then, I was born in the country that Buddha was born. So in that sense, I feel myself very proud and I would like to share my experience. And as I said, the Buddhist Community Center, I joined the army in 1980 and I served in the army for 24 years. And during the, can you hear me? During the time, I know I've been a number of operational duties, and there I have experienced some practical experience. And for example, I went to East Timor and other parts of the operation deployment. The mainly one example is when I was in East Timor, I was given a task to free 9,000 people, civilian, was surrounded by 9 militiamen. And I was given to a task to go to the Lost Palace and free them. And where I was going towards them in my mission, and there were around 52 vehicles behind me. I was leading the convoy going towards Lost Palace from Delhi to Lost Palace. And on the way, there was a very narrow road, just only one vehicle can pass, and the road was blocked. And on the left-hand side, I could see people moving, and they are ready to fire, and that means we call ambush position. I was approached to the ambush position, and there's no way I can go front, I can go back. And then the quick awareness or the mindfulness training or the non-violence approach, which helped me to get out from the vehicle and put my weapon behind rather than taking the front. And I myself, there's no choice. I can't go front, I can't go back. Only I can go to the ambush position. And I went towards the ambush position with 9 non-violence attitudes. So putting the weapon down, taking my hat off, and walking into the ambush position with a chair full of laughing towards the enemy, or not the enemy, but the ambush When I get there, they are ready to fire at me. And I said, don't fire. I'm not here to fight with you. And then they suddenly stopped and went to the ambush position. They spoke to the commander there, and they were actually ambushing not our team, for ambushing the other enemy group, which was at that time the Indonesian soldiers were their enemy. And I said, so we have to dismantle the ambush position, and you are not here to sort of fight. We are here to enforce peace in enforcement. And after negotiation, and we managed to sort of disarm them and bring them under control. And then I went to continue with my mission. What I'm trying to bring the point here is non-violence attitude which Buddha's taught that will apply anywhere, particularly in difficult situation. If I approach with sort of a violence attitude, I won't be here today talking, and many people won't be. Yeah. So that is one lesson I would like to share. And then I retired from the army. And when I was in the army, there was no Buddhist temple, no Buddhist monk. So I requested the chain of command to have a monk in the army, but I failed while I was serving. So then when I retired, I formed the Buddhist Community Center UK. And then I challenged through the Buddhist Community Center as a founder, as a chairman, as a trustees. And I challenged to the Minister of Defense saying, okay, we need the Lama or Buddhist monk because there are so many Buddhists serving in the army. There's no Buddhist monk. Then I took them sort of, lots of negotiation. And then finally, the Minister of Defense agreed to employ lamas. Now currently there are 2 lamas and the Buddhist monastery within the British Army camp. So where the meditation and the Buddhist teaching, every Sunday there's a meditation class and Buddhist teaching will be conducted by the monk for the army. And the Buddhist Community Center is established in 2007, where I started Buddhist Community Center in 2007 with 5 people. And it was very difficult at the beginning. Difficult because not many people are interested in Buddhism, and they think this is not possible. And after 1 year, 4 of them left, but I continue. And I reformed the committee in 2009, then 10, and continued. In 2012, I invited His Holiness Dalai Lama to the Buddhist Community Center, Aldershot. Since then, Buddhist Community Center is grown up very rapidly. Now we have over 1,000 trustees and 63,000 members all over the UK. And so we have invited Dalai Lama twice, His Holiness Dalai Lama, and the Karmapa, and many other high level of Buddhist leaders. So the Buddhist Center is for all Buddhists. It's Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, all Buddhists can come there and welcome, and we share practice together. So that is the one good principle we are practicing in the center. And the center is mainly for learning center. Since established the center, we have over 17,000 children from the school in UK visited and learned about the Buddhism. And many people from the police, many people from the NHS, hospitals, and also the other major companies, they come there, learn the mindfulness, meditations. So it's very, very active. One of the most active Buddhist center in the UK so far. Although there are so many Buddhist center, in the UK, if you search in the Google, but the Buddhist Community Center is young, but very, very active. So, and we do lots of charities work locally and also internationally. We support a school in India, a school in Nepal, and we support all the major natural disasters. So like when there was an earthquake in Nepal, we supported, we sent from here 22 doctors and 2 administrators from here to Nepal to support the victims of earthquake in Nepal. So that is the general BCC UK, about BCC UK, and I will just share my understanding, the general understanding of Buddhism. And the Buddhism for me is, first thing is non-violence. That is one of the key things, and this is more practical. So which helped me to survive in a difficult time. And I'm in the police at the moment, and most of the time, I don't need to use my stick to deal with the people. I always approach them with a non-violence attitude, talk to them nicely and calm them down, and they will listen. And we don't need to go to sort of violent situation. So that is the which is helping me quite a lot. And I would like to continue in future if I need. And I would like to share or advise to my brother and sister. The first good approach is non-violence approach to any difficult situation. And the Buddha's teaching, the relative of the Buddha's teaching in today's education. The Buddha, I think, 2,600 years ago, the Buddha's teaching, Buddha's taught exactly what is happening now. For example, Buddha said the equal opportunity. We are now practicing the equal opportunity now. Because of the Buddha's teaching, I found there was quite a lot inequality even in the British Army. And I challenged them. I challenged to the British Army hierarchy, and I took them a court because there was a very different term and condition between the Gurkhas and the British soldiers, or the soldiers here. The Gurkhas were treated very differently. And then I had no choice other than taking them to the court. But finally, I won the court case. Then now Gurkhas can get equal pay and pension since I challenged them. And now also the Gurkha can apply settlement here in the UK. They can be a British citizen here. So the equality, the Buddha's taught 2,500 years ago, everything is equal. So respect equally. And we are talking about the women rights. The Buddhas already introduced in 2,500 years ago. This is now we are only talking about the human rights. We are talking about the caste system or the discrimination, the human rights, which is the Buddha's teaching already mentioned there 2,500 years ago. So only we need to go back to always His Holiness Dalai Lama mentioned his talk, the ancient Indian wisdom. So we go back to visit what was the ancient Indian wisdom, which is the Buddha's teaching. So if you go and visit and more pay attention to the Buddhist teaching, so that is very, very relevant now. And His Holiness Dalai Lama always emphasized the oneness of 7 billion human beings in this earth. So we are brother and sister. We are same human being. So we have a same emotion. We are same thing. So why we sort of differentiate between one human being to another human being? West and East, South and West, I think the Buddha's, according to the Buddha's teachings, we are one thing, and also His Holiness Dalai Lama emphasized this time to time. And because, for example, we are interrelated, we are interconnected, and this is one of them. I'll try to sort of bring the points here. The Buddhist view. The Buddhist view is main thing is 4 seals. The one is all compounded things are impermanent. Everything is compounded, is impermanent. Anything happens now, that will disappear sooner or later. So that's why one thing is those who are suffering now, those who are very panicked about the coronavirus, but the principles, Buddha says, this won't last long. This will end. At the end, this will go away. So why we should worry? So yeah, we have to take precaution, but we should not worry too much about this. This will go. And all the phenomena are without inherent. So nothing exists without inherent. That's very, very basic things. So we know to exist, anything can exist itself. So they're supported by other things. So we are interdependent. So if these principles are little bit, the high level people like those who are in American Congress or Indian Parliament or British Parliament, those people who are there, if they little bit pay attention in these things, the compounded things are impermanent, and all the things are interdependent, then the world will be little bit peace and better place, and all the emotions are painful. And these are the principle. If you go and visit and analyze these things more detailedly, then this is for all, not only for Buddhists. This is for all human beings. It's a benefit to all human beings, I think. And also His Holiness Dalai Lama said, the study the Buddhism is study the oneself. So the oneself, so we are more concentrating on the outside things, material values, but we are lacking the inner value. And His Holiness time to time mentions about the emotion or hygiene of emotion. If we teach our children, or if we put this in our education system, how to learn about emotion, why the negative emotion comes from, why the positive emotion comes from. If we pay little attention to that, and the world or the people going to be more harmonious and more respecting each other, and they understand the emotion. And these things are quite important too. And this is very relative to Buddha's teaching in today's education, I think. That's all I would have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. I want to thank you for your courage and your conviction to nonviolence. I'm so happy that I got this chance to listen to that story, that ambush story. I never heard of it. Even when I was in London, I was so happy, so privileged to have Brother Kaji taking me, showing me around, even though he was having some investigation into some really serious crime. But he was just so calm, and then, driving me and Frank around. And then we had this great privilege also to visit that very beautiful temple. So I hope that you wouldn't mind me inviting everyone, if they have a chance to go to London, please, you have to go visit that beautiful monastery. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Goshan Shamaji, because, we kind of all meet here and there in different occasions, but this is wonderful. We are here on sense computer screen, and then we're listening, to each other, talking, really from the bottom of our hearts. And I see this beautiful convergence of our three speakers from different perspectives, starting from the proposal from Dr. Nitinant, and then, the importance of emotion and training through mindfulness. And eventually our, our brother Kaji also emphasized the importance of this, the Buddha's teachings, to train our children to build a very solid foundation, especially in terms of emotion training in our young children, and the importance for our education and our community. So thank you, all three speakers. And our Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya has been sitting there listening. I really love the fans in the back. A venerable, looks like a halo. Is really, really wonderful, wonderful. So may I invite Dr. Dhammapiya Venerable to say a few words?
Yeah, it was really very nice to listen to all the panelists who have given their understanding of the teachings of the Buddha with their experiences of their own lives and also the lives of others. Just it came to my mind, maybe I'll be having a question. I don't, because Dr. Gulshan-ji used to say there will be some QA. So maybe the QA for today starts with me. Does it came to mind?
Is that a test or a question?
I also remind there are questions today in YouTube. Dr. Christie, you can have a look at it meanwhile when Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya is addressing. It is on Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page. There are questions from Indonesia. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So when I was listening to all the panelists, not only for today, this is our general understanding. Whoever we listen to or whoever we are, we all are talking about our lives or the lives of some other beings, either in this world or in some other world. So it came to my mind today to just have some clarification. We, in the religious context, either it is in Buddhism or in Hinduism or in Christianity or in Islam or in some other faith system, there is a concept of living in this world and also after we live this life, some other world that exists, though the definitions or descriptions might be different. My question is, what is the difference of the life between the life in this planet Earth and the life which is understood to be in the heaven, if at all? You see, we all have the descriptions of life in heaven, and we all know the description of life as we experience in this world. So anybody who can tell me what is the difference of life on this earth and in heaven?
Any of our panelists, please?
Okay, can I try?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, life in this earth and life in heaven.
Yeah.
As my understanding, or in a sort of Buddhist perspective, there is no different life here and in heaven. The life heaven is here, when your inner peace is controlled, happy, and you are a very nice mood, that is heaven already there. I don't sort of go and find a place where heaven is like a somewhere. So, but in my view, this is my view. The heaven is here, hell is here, and everything is here, and that's here within the person. I can be as a feeling hell if I become a violence, and I talk to bad things to other people, and then I'm in the hell situation. If I talk to people very nicely, if I treat them nicely, and if they treat me nicely, I am already in the heaven. And so, in reality, there is no such called heaven, or there is no such called hell. Hell and heaven is created by your own mind, and created the situation by own self. That's my understanding. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Maybe Upasika, Dr. Nitinant has something to say.
Oh yes, namaskar, respected venerable. I like to share that actually, of course, if you talk about the physical premise of the heaven, honestly, I cannot say anything about that. Never experienced such a place. But yes, I agree with Captain Kaji that heaven or hell is actually on in our mind. And I like to say that it's actually in every single breath we are breathing in or out. So by behaving whatsoever, if you trust that heaven is a reward for all the good things that you have done, so that means you can gain the fruits of all your good actions in every single breath. But if you have done anything wrong, do any unwholesome, then in every single breath will take you to the hell. This is what I think, that it is truly affiliate attached with the action that you are doing. But in addition to that, I think being a human living on earth is an advantage. We have been born, of course, birth, death, sufferings all the time. But by being born on this earth is a privilege, because we are human, and we can do a lot of good things, including cultivating mindfulness, developing our own mind to be to extend any beneficial things to other people. So our life on earth will be a great value. So I am confident that for respected Venerable Dhammapiya, to answer your question, if to say what is the difference, the life on earth is truly highly valued when you are living with high-minded, in truth, in virtues, in the grace. And Buddha taught us to cultivate mindfulness, to develop our mind. And if we keep doing this continuously, being steadfast on practicing mindfulness, I'm sure that in every single breath, we can prevent all the bad things to come in our breath, because we will be conscious, we'll be concentrated, and we will have our own self-awareness. So living our life on earth will be truly of the virtues. That's my view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Upasika, Dr. Nitinant. Dr. Goswanji, do I have some time, or we have to close it with my prayer?
The whole universe is yours. The world is yours. The time is yours. The people are yours, and we all are yours.
Okay. Thank you so much. Actually, just it came to my mind because what I have observed, that whatever we speak, it is centered around life, nothing but life. Life, It is either your life or my life or somebody's life or life of this planet or this grass, plants, animals, rivers, mountains, or whatever it is. We are talking about the lives. So that is what I was thinking when our Upasika, Dr. Nitinant just said, to practice the four Brahmaviharas, that is the four ways of developing the mind of a noble person. It's called the quality, the sublime quality of a noble person, Brahma, or whatever we call it, the enlightened or evolved person, is that the mind always remains in the state of boundless love and compassion all the time, not only for a few seconds or few minutes, all the time. So boundless love and compassion. So anybody who has developed at that level of the development of feeling and experience and mind will always enjoy the life peacefully, happily, always. You see. So this it's called Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha in Pali. So each one, for example, the first is Metta, means Moitri, but the Indian understanding of Moitri is a little narrower than the understanding of Metta. So Metta means where you generate and develop unconditional love and compassion towards all living beings, to everybody. It is not like I love my brother, my relatives, my father, my son, or my husband, or my somebody, not like that. I love equally in the same way for all, whether human beings or animals or dogs or pigs or what, whoever, whether it is Indian Christians or Muslims or Buddhists or whoever, my love and compassion and consideration for everyone is the same. It is called metta or moitri actually. So a person who has that kind of this feeling or the sublime state of mind always lives in unaffected, unshaken peace and
Do we lose Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji?
There is the internet connection.
The internet, yeah.
Is over there at his place. So, Dr. Christie, meanwhile, I would request you.
Unstable,
there is a question on the YouTube.
I think it's back. Venerable is back.
Yes.
We lost you for a little while.
No, you had gone in meditation for a short while.
You went to heaven and came back.
Yeah. No, what I was saying was whatever we are talking is talking about life. It is a positive aspect of life, right? A good experience, a good feeling. So as our doctor, this brother Captain Kaji was saying, heaven is within oneself. When you feel something good, do something good, that is a heaven. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, there is when once develop the kind of experience, sublime state of mind, we are in heaven. Fine. That is how, as per the definition or explanation of Dr. Kaji, our brother Kaji. And there is also another aspect of life. That's what the same our brother Kaji has said. Like anybody who is having the violent mind, a mind full of hatred, animosity, ill will, and antagonism, all sorts of these negativities called defilements. And the defiled person, a person with defiled mind, to be very, very unhappy and miserable, and also make everybody miserable and stressful, right? So that is what the heaven, whenever we do something in a negative way and experience ourselves, all the misery and suffering, that is, we are in a state of hell, something like that, right? As per our Kajiji. That means we are talking about life on this planet Earth, either it is heavenly or it is like hell kind of thing. But as the description is found in our text, and many people even in different religion, they are aspiring to Deva Loka. I'm gone. I mean, my voice is still audible or not?
Yeah.
It's fluctuating because basically.
Okay, maybe heaven people are not happy with me. Because I'm exposing the heaven, so maybe they are telling that I should not talk about heaven. So otherwise, many people will go to heaven. They will have no space in heaven for us.
Well, but I think you were venerable. You would agree that Dr. Nitinant and our brother Kaji have passed your test, right?
Yeah, I was trying to explain that some other aspect in the light of Buddha's teaching. It means that
can I add something there?
Yeah. And unfortunately, Dr. Nitinant, actually, she came out of events, so she has to return to that event. So she was about to say sorry, and she needs to.
Okay, fine. We will discuss some other day. I was trying to relate some other point. It may take some time. So, okay, I'll stop. Yeah,
but
maybe there's some other
questions. Yeah, sorry, I'd like to say thank you very much. I had a great time, but please do allow me to leave the session sooner. But of course, I'm sure that in the good hand of Dr. Christie will continue this session. And I learned a lot as well from other panelists. And I enjoyed listening from Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya. And yes, Dr. Sharma, you recall a great time that we were together in Thailand, and I really love to look forward to welcoming you again. And of course, for others, I like to extend invitation to all of you to Thailand as well. Thank you. Yes. Allow me to leave you. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
We lost Venerable Dhammapiya ji.
He's back to heaven again, I guess.
I think he has gone to arrange a seat because I'm the eldest biologically.
And Dr. Goshan Sharma, you were saying that there were some questions on the YouTube. I couldn't.
If you go on the YouTube, there is a question from Indonesia. It's called Hedison. How to ask children who prefer to play mobile phone than to a monastery? Could children perform Atasila, Atasila, A-T-T-A-S-I-L-A, Atasila, and the Uposatha fast or retreat in Buddhist monastery? At what age? If you could reply. This is the question. We will take next time because Venerable Dhammapiya ji has gone to see a seat for me in heaven. So I think we can take the question next week because the person will be coming again. We can take next week.
So all right. So
do you think that we can take on? I don't know. It's your choice.
But was that Venerable is back. But was that a question for Yenti or Indonesian panelists?
I don't know. It has come from Hedison, and it is written how to ask children who prefer to play mobile phone than go to monastery. Then could children perform Atasila, A-T-T-A-S-I-L-A. I do not know. My sincere apologies on that. Atasila and the U-P-O-S-A-T-H-A, Uposatha, fast, F-A-S-T, fast, or retreat in Buddhist monastery. At what age? Could you please clarify? This is the question, but we can take next week. I will pass on this question to you, and I would request the person to log in next week again, right?
All right. But if Janti, do you have any quick answer?
Yes. Can I answer the first question about mobile phone?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, my son loves to play with his mobile phone. And I'll share with you the benefit of playing with the mobile phone. Okay, so he entered a competition. My son is one of the student who is interested in math. So he entered the competition with a few of his students, his friends. He won, and some of the students actually the same level with him didn't want anything. Then I asked him why. He said, "Mom, it's because I play games." I say, "How that relate your games with your competition?" He said, "Because through games, I learn the strategy, to win. So there are many aspects in the games that help me when I do the competition." And this competition, the final was at the University of Melbourne in Australia. So it's quite prestigious. So at first, I was also one of the reluctant parents when, seeing him playing on the phone, playing games, But he said to me, "Mom, I have been studying a lot, at school. So when I come home, I want to relax. Can you let me, I know you're not happy, but can you let me play like an hour a day probably?" Then I let go. And after that, after I saw the result with the competition, I was happy. At least I made the right decision, even though some of my friends was criticizing me when seeing that my son keep playing with his phone. So I think that he have a valid reason. In our home, everybody has the right to argue. If they are not agree on anything, they can voice out their opinion, and everybody will be listening. And about monastery, I would say that if your student doesn't want to go to this temple or to monastery, so you should bring the temple to him. One of the reasons I attended many mindfulness retreat is to train myself to be a better parent. Maybe I'm not as good as one of the Dharma teachers at the temple, but at least I know how to connect with my kids. So I know it's really challenging to get up in the Sunday morning where they want to sleep longer, and to get ready even for temple. So sometimes I let them off. It's okay. You have to listen to me lecturing you sometimes. So for the
part of understanding.
Yeah, for the question about Atasila is the precept where you don't eat after 12 o'clock. Maybe Mr. Kaji can answer that.
Yeah. Venerable.
I think that Atasila is my area, I think.
Please.
Actually, I was disconnected for some time. I had to switch on to some other device to connect to internet. I did not get much things that what was asked and things like that. But I heard something like Athasila. Athasila is 8 precepts. First precept means the discipline we take off, like Panchasila we have for the lay people or for normal observance. So like it is abstaining from killing, like one refrains from killing. It's called precept. Then abstaining or refraining from stealing, that's also a precept, second precept. Then we have abstaining from the what we call that this sexual misconduct, illicit sex or sexual misconduct. That's also precept, third precept. Then we have refraining from telling lies, the fourth precept. Then we have refraining from taking any kind of intoxicants or alcoholic things. That's the fifth precept. In Panchasila, we have the five precepts like this. And these precepts are very important to develop one's own behavior and cultivate one's own mind. So the 5 precepts. But when one is to go a little higher, then we have 8 precepts. 8 precepts includes these 5 plus some other 3, where One is to train the body and mind to be satisfied with what is minimum. That's why those who take 8 precepts, they are not supposed to enjoy all the luxuries. That is listening to music and then using all the cozy, very luxurious bed and sofa like kind of thing. Just live like a mendicant or like a monk. I mean that this saintly kind of very simple life. This there, and also not to have food after particular period of time, that is normally understood after 12 o'clock. Of course, Buddha's time, maybe the sign was different, but after 12 o'clock, like this. That means 8 precepts include 5 plus 3, where one is to undertake this strenuous practice by living a very simple life, not listening to music, not engaging with luxurious kind of lifestyles, and keeping oneself mindful and meditative like that. So I was just be hearing something like whether children can take this Atthasila. Is it the question, Dr. Gulshanji?
Yes, I think that was the question. Or at what age?
At what age? Okay.
Yeah.
I understand this following the precepts, observing the precepts should not have the age barrier, as long as one understands the meaning of the precept, and also one is ready to accept and follow these precepts, then I think one can definitely take up. Like when one understands at the age of say 10 or 12, whatever age, to take this precepts, and like not eating in the evening or afternoon after 12, one can definitely train oneself up. It's okay at any age. At any age is mature age where one has to be ready, but one can take up. And we have there are cases where at the age of 7, a young boy becomes a samanera, we call novice. So a novice has to take not only 5 precepts or not only 8 precepts, but 10 precepts. So it's possible that from the age of 7, one can take 8 precepts or Atthasila.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was the question. And before we go for the prayer, I've got a small prayer and a request to make to you and to all the fellow panelists those who have come today. While conveying my deep gratitude and thanks to all of you, I've got a small request to make to all of you. Like Kaji ji from UK and Madam from Indonesia, Dr. Christie from Taiwan, can I make a humble request to Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya ji that from next week, let us start getting at least one young boy or whatever you call it, a girl to a mom, I would say nan, or whatever you call it in your terms. We should get some young boys and girls in this program. And like we are doing every day, that is becoming like I'm making 5 girls to speak every day. They talk on water conservation and they talk on water, conservation. Besides that, the purpose of education, making education relevant. They're also talking on women empowerment. Similar way, I wish to request that young boys and girls, we should get some of them, if we can, from next Friday. I would make a humble request. After the main speakers have spoken, then let's give them 2 minutes each, because future belongs to younger generation. And from our chamber, we have decided, inside we have done the core team meeting. We are going to shoot out an email to all the institutions, those are teaching Buddhism in India, that we will bring awareness of this program, that every Friday we have got this program from 7 to 8 p.m. And why don't you come and log in and listen to what exactly is going on and how is the Buddha's relevance in today's teaching. So my request to you, Dr. Christie, your experiment when you brought one boy and a girl from Taiwan, it was very good. People appreciated that. And now Kazi ji, when he gave 70,000 plus numbers from UK, I have got deep connections, contacts, my president, my other people, they're also there in UK. Whatever support he needs, because for Punjabis, it's a second home as far as UK is concerned. They have reached out Canada and they have reached out, UK in abundance. In the evening, if you go to South Hall, you will not find any local British. You will find only Punjabis. So what I'm sharing with all of us is my humble request, similar way the lady who has come from Indonesia, why not we should get some boys and girls, those are studying either in school or in college, because future belong to young generation. We should give them 2 to 3 minutes at the end. I think it will send a very good message. Whatever efforts we are putting in so sincerely, let's start getting and involving younger generation also. That is my humble
okay, I understand the getting students, either boys or girls or nuns or young monks, may not be that difficult, but only challenge will be the language. That's what I have been thinking.
No, they should only listen, and maybe they will spread the message about this program. Somewhere the message is not going deeper. We are putting in so much of efforts, all of us. And Venerable Dhammapiyaji, your feelings are so pious, so dedicated, so devoted, and so much efforts you are putting in. But somewhere I think we have to get across to, and I wish to get Dr. Barbara, my sister from UK also. Let her also be sometime, because she's very vocal, she's very energetic, and we should get more and more people. Okay, the people to whom we have brought right from the day one till today. Let's assemble all of them and tell them that, okay, please bring some more people. Yeah, I was just trying to go through the details. You have brought 67 people so far as speakers. So,
yeah, Dr. Gulshanji, I think, yeah, right. I mean, probably we can have one day something like either different kind of group discussion or something with all our past panelists.
yes.
And then discuss and request them to connect to some other people with school children or things like that. Then maybe something may come out.
Yes, that would be very kind. That is my request. That is my request. Okay. Now we go ahead with your prayers, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, all the panelists, Dr. Gulshanji, and all the viewers and everyone from across the globe for joining this program and listening patiently, though might be at different places, it's midnight or late in evening or early morning like that. Thank you so much, everyone. As we have started by taking refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, we close this program by invoking to the triple gem and then praying for the good health and happiness of all. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sukhi bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata Sabba dhammanubhavena sada sukhi bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sukhi bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu. May all beings be free from danger and illness, ill health. May all beings be happy and peaceful. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you very much, all our brothers and sisters world over. Green morning, green afternoon, green evening. You all are very active on the YouTube. Please become active on the webinar also. Come over here and put your questions in the chat box. More and more active participation we need from the world over, all our brothers and sisters. Thank you very much, our panelists, and thank you very much, Dr. Venerable Dhammapiyaji. It was a wonderful. Look forward meeting all of you next Friday, 7 p.m. Indian